So we bought those cupboards. We're going to put them in here, and they're going to be sticking out a bit. So that's why I think the one nearest the wall, I'll take the doors off because this is going to be in the way. I think we'll sort of just be able to get stuff in there, which will bring us out about here halfway, and then we'll have a full one here. So we've got a full one here and the other one there, looking good. Now this, I don't know what I was planning on doing with it, except I had spare stuff and we put it there. Maybe I was going to do an edge, or you know, you change your plans all the time, don't you? So we could block this off and we could make a mix of concrete and we could fill that in. That's one option. The other option is get it and chip it all down, at least bring it down some, if not bring it down all the way. They're only 6 foot tall, so we've got plenty of room height wise. Height isn't a problem. Okay, these are on the floor and we can put something above them. I can't imagine cutting one down and just making 2 cupboards to go up there. Be a bit of a faff, wouldn't it? Just be a space. So, and as I'm using the top of those, all I'm doing is putting empty tubs. They're all up there, are nice empty containers for a rainy day. There's very little in them, there's no weight up there. So, so it's good having the cupboards here, but it's bad because I'm going to have to get my arse into gear and get this job done. So let's get it done then. Ooh, that didn't last long. The lights are flickering and there's smoke coming out of it. Uh-oh, I haven't killed another one, have I? See the smoke coming out, and it smells. Oh, I daren't touch it. It's too dangerous. Another one bites the dust. Many years ago, I paid 30 quid for that. We'll pull that apart. We paid 30 quid for that many years ago. It's done really well, to be honest. Yeah, but alas, I think it's just gone. Luckily, we've got a backup. I've just been to check my film. I meant to put it on time lapse, but I ended up putting it on slow motion. So lucky for us, we've actually seen this thing blow up live and at the scene. Sparks coming out the back of it. Anyway, lucky we got a backup. I can't remember. I know this is a drill. I don't know if it's just a hammer and a drill. I have noticed, I did look at it. It looks mighty soft. It's pretty damp around here. Pretty wet and pretty damp, so we're going to have to try and, because we put the tins here and the tins get wet and anything you put in there will turn to rust, because it's only an outside shed, isn't it? It's winter time, so the dampness is here, and to be honest. We thought we'd fixed it. We thought we'd fixed it, but if you have a look, if you remember, we put like a coating under there to try and make this paint stick. Look, this is signs of damp. There's water getting, that's a couple of years old, mind, 2 or 3, but it should last a lot better than that, and the plaster's coming off, so it's not looking good. It's better than it has been in the past, but it's not good. There's no salt in there, so last time we put that like undercoat stuff, so we have got a problem here. I don't know whether it be rising damp. Did we put a damp course, or is it bridging? We probably put a damp course under the building, and this may have bridged the damp by putting that block there. So some of that could be rising damp. It's too high. Rising damp doesn't go that far. I used to be a surveyor for Sovereign Chemicals, so I know quite a bit about damp and rising damp and dry rot and all that. So that it could be partially rising damp. It could be that when we put that there was no protection underneath, so it could be this has bridged it and fed the wall with water. The top looks pretty dry. There might be some sort of dampness up there in the extreme, you know, in the wind it's blowing, because remember it's a homemade shed, isn't it? So we might visit that in the summer. Going down here. So yeah, so even before we put them there, we're going to have to fix that properly so that we don't get rusty tools, you know, boxes. So it's, as always, one job becomes another job, becomes another job, becomes another job. But anyway, it's all good practice, and we're going to have a fantastic film of pulling that thing to parts. I do love, it came up the other day on the comments, I do love pulling things apart to there. Who loves taking stuff apart to its original component parts? Every little part that it's taken to get there, you know. Anyway, let's see how we get on. Ooh, that thing will bang you in the head. Oh, that is a hammer drill. Anyway, if we drill enough holes in it, we can smash it apart, can't we? Reduce it some. It looked very soft. It feels very soft. It broke up quite easily. So let's see how we do. And this time, remember, Reggie, we don't want slow motion. We want time lapse. That bit is way too strong. We should get a smaller, thinner bit and put lots of smaller holes in it just to break it up. Looks like we're going to have to resort to the old-fashioned way of doing stuff, hammer and chisel. So let's have a go at that. We'll drill it with a much smaller drill, put loads of holes in it, and let's see if it'll break up. Become a bunch of southern softies, haven't we? You know, you get the big gear, you forget how the old ways would have been hammer and chisel. Anyway, we've got some off. We'll put a few more holes in it now. I don't think we're far off, you know. I think if we have another doing, take another layer off, which brings it down, which is what I wanted to do. As we're taking that away, we're creating a little pile of aggregate. It's only going to hold the shelf up, isn't it? I think it's mostly plaster. It's only homemade building, isn't it? We've got plenty of cement. We've got a bag of sand there. So I reckon, well, we've got half a bag of cement that we got left over. The dates don't matter. We're not building the Trump Towers, are we? So we've got a bag of sand there. We've got half a bag of cement left there. We've got some aggregate. We'll take another layer off. We'll put a box there, 1 foot by 2 foot. And our 2 boxes, our 2 cupboards will then sit on there. We'll put plastic underneath, and we'll put plastic up the backs of the cupboards, the walls here. Or if insulation or whatever we can find. We could use this stuff, couldn't we? We could use a roll of this as a backing to the cupboard. That would stop the dampness getting into anything we put there. And we're going to put one of the cupboards with no doors on. Just makes it easy to get in and out of. No faffing with the door, fouling here. And this is going to have a set of doors. Do we want them to open this way up against, which will be in your way, or do you want to open that way? We'll see. But anyway, we're getting there. We're getting there. I think we'll take one more layer off, and we'll try and get that corner down a little bit. It's getting dark now. I can feel tea, so I need tea. So we'll start on that tomorrow. We'll shutter it up. We'll make a mix of concrete. Anything extra we get, remember, we've still got behind this bottom shelf to fill in. So if we make too much, we've still got somewhere to put it, haven't we? Yeah, so whenever you're doing something, make sure you've got a backup plan for any excess. Yeah, 4x2, 4x2, 4 inches, square it off. We need 1 foot by 2 foot, so the cupboards are 1 foot deep, aren't they? You don't have to go there, look. There's 1 foot deep there, which is about there, and it's 2 foot along. They're going to take up 2 foot by 1 foot. Going to be just nice. Yeah, I like it when a plan comes together. Almost one of my favourite things, and that's when you're pulling something apart, pull it apart to its individual pieces, every little separate piece, pull it apart and watch it tick, because it's not safe to mess with. Did you see the flames that were coming out the back of the thing? It's probably dust, isn't it? Probably a good clean might fix it, but ooh, if I took it apart, I wouldn't be confident enough to put it back together, because if you ever did the wires wrong and you touch that, and of course it's mains, it's good night, sweetheart. And we've had good service, I mean really good service out of this. Don't use it very often. It's come in every time. I bet you that's blocked, isn't it? Was it breathing through there? This has fallen off a few times. It was well worth it. I think I'd give 30 quid for it in a car boot. 10, 15, 20 years ago, yeah. Time to get another one. If I remember correctly, I think they had it, we'd looked at it, we'd walked in, and it came a shower of rain. It had ruined, you know, when your car boot, nice morning, and then a whole shower of rain, and just as everybody had set up, and I was just about to get out the door, and he was near the gate, and I said to him, right, I'll give you X amount for it. Was a bit less than what he was asking for it, and I think I'd try to get it cheaper. And he says, go on then, because he wanted money in his kitty, because he'd got there and done nothing for the day, because the rain had come and ruined it, and everyone skedaddled. So yeah, it's done real good. And I know I keep saying it, but get yourself a 110 box, because just by having the 110 box, it opens the the box of 110 equipment. If you haven't got a 110 box, there's no point going to the car boot and buying a piece of equipment with a plug like this on it, because you can't run it and you can't put this on mains. It's a 110. So just by getting if you haven't got a 110 box, get yourself a 110 box, and it opens the world to 110 equipment, which is sight. It's much safer. It's not going to fry you. I don't know how close to frying as that other drill was. Hopefully not. Hopefully there's enough safety built into it. But yeah, 110. Not going to kill you. That other one could have, possibly. I'm only guessing, but I wouldn't like to try it. I wouldn't like to get a belt off it. So yeah, 110 is the way to go. Get yourself a 110 box. Opens your world up to second-hand 110 equipment. One of my golden rules is always, if you've had something electrical, you find a nick in a cable, you've put a bit of tape on it or whatever. If you've got electrical bother with anything, snip the cable so you don't forget. You don't borrow it. Debbie doesn't borrow it to somebody. You don't cause anybody any harm. That is never going to be plugged in the electric and do anybody any harm ever again. So one of my golden rules always is, if I've got something playing up electrically, snip it. Kill it there and then.